Hi everyone, I'm Avdesh God. In this video, we'll learn about joins and its implementation in Tableau. We'll also walk through on how you can utilize unions to stack your data coming from multiple files or from different tables within the same file. Well, let's get started. Depending on our data sources, Tableau provides us multiple join options to bring in data from the related tables. This includes left join, right join, an inner join, and full outer join. In a nutshell, joining tables help us bring fields from multiple tables based on the joining columns and the join type selected. Let's discuss these join types one by one. Let us consider two sample tables for this. The table on the left contains the name and the age, whereas the table on the right contains the name and the profession information. Moreover, I have also color coded the tables so that it's easier for you to visualize on what column is coming from which table. Let us consider the join key to be the name field in all of these cases. If you'll have a look at the output of the left join, then it will bring us all the rows from the left table, whereas only the matching records for the columns coming up from the right table. And that too based on the join key, that is the name column over here. And therefore, for the records in the left table not having any matching record from the right table based on this join key, that is the name column, will end up getting nulls in the columns coming from the right table for these records. And that's why the profession of B and C is mentioned as null, as we do not have any matching record for these names in the right table. And so is the name column. So to summarize, in case of a left join, we get all of the records from the left table and only the matching records from the right table. That is why for name A and D, we got the profession details, whereas for the non-matching records, that is for B and C, we didn't got any information from the right table, and that's why we can see nulls over here. Let us see how to implement this in Tableau. Let us quickly connect to the data source Excel. Over here on the left hand side, we can see all the sheets in this particular Excel. We have got a age table as well as the profession table. Let us drag the age table first to the canvas. In the canvas, we are currently viewing the logical layer, wherein the relationships happen. If we'll drag the profession table, Tableau will allow us to implement the relationship. We'll understand more about relationships in the upcoming videos in this section. Let's close this for now. In order to implement the join, we need to go to the physical layer. To do so, double-click on the table name and Tableau will open up the physical layer. We can already see the age table available over here in the physical layer canvas. Let's drag the profession table. Tableau will automatically join the data based on the data sources selected. In order to change the join type, we need to click over the Venn diagram and select the required join. Let's change it to the left join. Moreover, we can also change the join key by selecting the appropriate fields from the left and the right table. To do so, select the appropriate field from the left and the right table respectively. Let's close this for the time being. At the bottom, in the data pane, we can verify that we are getting all of the records from the left table, that is the age table, with the corresponding ages as well. Whereas only the matching records based on the name are getting the profession information. That is, only A and D in this case. Whereas on the other hand, the profession for B and C is marked as null. Reason being, there is no record for B and C in the profession table. In case of a right join, it is exactly the reverse of the left join. That is, we'll get all the records from the right table with only those records from the left table that are available in the right one based on the join key, which is again the name over here. Moreover, for the non-matching records, we'll get the null values in the final output of the columns coming from the left table. And that's why the age of O is mentioned as null over here. Let us quickly implement this in Tableau. All we need to do is click on the Venn diagram and change the join type to right join. Again, we can verify it by having a look at the data pane, wherein we are getting all of the records from the profession table, which is the right table in this case, with only the matching records from the age table, which is the left table. The records which are available in the right table but are not present in the left table will have the age values as null, and that's why we can see the age of O as null over here. In case of an inner join, we'll get only the records which are common in both left and right tables based on the join key, which is name over here. And that's why we'll only get two records, that is A and D. Moreover, if you'll notice, we are not having any null values in the output of an inner join. Reason being, we are taking up only the matching records from both of the tables. Whereas, in case of an outer join, we'll get all the records from both left and right table. If you'll notice, the age of O is specified as null, as O is not available in the left table, whereas the profession of B and C again is specified as null because B and C are not available in the right table. We can quickly implement the inner and outer join in Tableau by clicking on the when icon. Let's select the inner join first. As we can see in the data pane, we got only the common records between the age and profession table. Whereas if we select the full outer join, we'll be getting all the records from both left and right tables. Although unions are not a join type, but here we tend to cascade the data one down below the other, having the same table structure. Let us consider a use case to understand more about unions. Suppose we have the sales data coming on a month-on-month basis in different files. In this case, if the table structure of this monthly data is the same, then you can use a union to collate this data in Tableau. In the current example on screen, we can see that if we union table 1 and table 2, the data from one table is added as additional rows to the other table. Let's implement this in Tableau. In the left-hand side, we can see multiple sheets under the file that we are connected. Let's drag table 1 to the canvas. In order to union this with table 2, let's drag that as well to the canvas. Tableau will provide us an option to union table 2 with table 1, as both of these are having the same table structure. If you'll notice, in the data pane, we can see the results coming from both table 1 and table 2. And the data from table 2 is cascaded as an additional row to the data of table 1. If you'll have a closer look, then an additional column is created specifying which record is coming from which table. The first two records are coming from table 1, whereas the rest two records are coming from table 2. If in case we want to add additional tables to this union, we can again follow the same approach and drag it to the canvas, or otherwise we can also select Edit Union from this drop-down and drag the required tables over here. Finally, we can hit OK and we can see the results changing out in the data pane. In this video, we learned about joins and unions in Tableau. Moreover, we also had a hands-on session on how to implement the same. In the next video, we'll learn about data blending in Tableau.